Well, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us for our Lead the Field coaching call. This is our next Q&A call with Bob, and we have quite a few questions to get through today. So, Bob, if you're ready, we'll go ahead and get started.
I'm all ready, Tracy.
All right. Our first question is...
I think we lost you, Tracy.
Yep, because I muted myself. All right, from Paul. Since starting the program, I felt a great shift in my energy. For the last week, I feel I have gone back to my old ways. How can I keep my vibration on a higher level?
Well, your vibration is caused by your thinking. When you think, you get emotionally involved with your ideas or with whatever thoughts you're thinking, and that dictates your emotional level. I would suggest you've taken your eye off your goal and you're focusing on what's going on around you. Quit thinking about what's going on around you. Build an image in your mind of what you want going on around you. See it happening, and your energy will be there. Give yourself a big project with a short period of time to complete it. Do that right now, okay?
Okay, next one's from Mufalo. I have heard you say the human mind can heal the body. I'm experiencing balding hair loss. Is it possible for me to regrow my hair with my subconscious mind? How long would it take?
I don't know the answer to that. I know a lot of people that have tried that without success. Since I've got a full head of hair and I have to get it thinned out every time I go to the barber, I haven't had a whole lot of empathy or sympathy for the ones that don't have hair. I got two sons that don't have any hair. I really believe the mind's in charge of anything, though. Fully convinced of it. The body is a physical manifestation of the mind. Mind is movement. Body's a manifestation of that movement. Now, that being the law, everything moves from a higher to a lower potential. That's true with electricity. It's true with your mind. Like if you want to have more light in the room that you're in, you got to put in a bigger bulb. The energy, the electricity is there to supply it. It's the bulb. The only limit placed on the energy or the electricity is the limit that's placed on the form through which it's flowing, namely the transformer or the bulb. Well, the only limit placed on the body is the limit that's placed, or the mind is the limit that's placed on the form through which it's flowing. So I would say the answer to your question is yes, you could. I don't know how long it would take. Next one.
Okay, his second question. I have 3 books I'm reading. Working with the Law, The Power of Sweetness, and The Science of Getting Rich. Is there a way I can delegate reading them all?
We can delegate. Delegate? Well, put it this way. You don't have to read them all. What you want to do is make certain that you understand and apply what you're reading. I will frequently read 2 or 3 books at the same time. I read for a while in one, I'll switch over to another. You may do that. But keep in mind that no amount of reading or memorizing is going to make us successful. It's the understanding and application of why it's that count. Next one.
Okay, next one's from Stavriana, and we have 2 questions. Bob, what advice do you have for when everything seems to be falling apart and going to the opposite direction than our goals?
Well, you want to feel good about it because out of all confusion comes order. A higher degree of order than that which existed prior to the confusion. So it may feel like it's falling apart. What it's probably doing is creating what has to be created, or you're getting rid of what you have to get rid of, or you're changing what you have to change to get to where you're going. That's not unusual. Just understand that out of all confusion comes order. And it's a higher degree of order than that which existed prior to the confusion. There's another way of looking at it. Advancement of all kinds is preceded by a crisis. Quite often, the greater the crisis, the greater the opportunity for advancement. Start to expect something really good and big to happen. Okay? Next one.
Her second question. In Lesson 8, it is suggested we can increase our effectiveness from 50 to 100% within 30 days. Would you please elaborate on what I can do mentally and physically to achieve this?
Well, first of all, what you want to do is look at what you're doing and ask yourself how well you're doing it. Then start asking yourself, what could I do to really become more effective at this? When you make this a daily ritual, you may do it first thing in the morning or last thing at night. Might be a good thing before you go to bed. Sit and say, what could I do tomorrow to make myself more effective and more productive? Not just effective, but more productive too. And write down 2 or 3 things and then start doing them the next day. See, the rewards we get are nothing but the expression of what's going on inside. And if you can measure your results, determine where you're going to go, how you're going to double your productivity or something. And then start thinking about it. It won't happen probably in one move. It may happen in a series of moves. But you keep working on it, you'll figure it out.
Okay. Next one's from Lauren. What is the difference between my goal and my goal card? When I write out my goal, it is too detailed to fit on a goal card. Should my goal card have the date I wish to have my money?
Absolutely should. Yeah. No one knows how long it takes for a goal to manifest. See, what you're dealing with there is the law of gender. The law of gender decrees that all seeds have a gestation or an incubation period. If a woman gets pregnant, it takes approximately 280 days from the moment the seed is planted until the baby arrives. And it's pretty near close to that as a rule. There's sometimes it's premature. It takes a carrot seed, where I live, approximately 70 days. Wheat, 90 to 120 days. All seeds have a gestation or incubation period. A goal is a spiritual seed. It's a seed, it's non-physical energy that you've brought together, an idea or a group of ideas, and you build a picture in your mind. So you put the goal on the date on the goal card because then you're going to work towards something, but you're guessing at the date. Northrop Parkinson, he said that work expands to fill the time allotted for it. I'm inclined to agree. If you give yourself all kinds of time, it'll take you all kinds of time. Now, when you write your goal in detail, what you want to do is reduce it to the ridiculous. If you can't put your goal on the card, you've probably got way too much writing on there. Break it down to the ridiculous. It's an idea. It should go on the card. The idea for the card is you carry it loose in your purse or your pocket. When you write it out, what you're doing is painting a picture in words. You build a picture of the goal in your mind, and then you paint it in words. That's what you mean by writing it out. Well, those pictures or that picture is impregnated into cells in your brain. The goal card then becomes a symbol. When you touch the goal card, your sensory factor touch is affected. A nerve goes flying through the central nervous system from your finger to your brain cells. Those brain cells are activated, and the images that are in the mind flash on the screen of the mind. So the goal card turns out to be like a light switch. You touch it, boom, the picture comes on your mind. Okay? Next one.
Okay, and her second part of the question, my goal is to live a life of freedom where I am earning $10,000 every week through multiple sources of income. When imagining this, am I picturing what my life would look like, or do I imagine the money?
I probably imagine what the life would look like, but you measure the money. Keep your eye on the money, because you can tell, like, the money is measurable. A lifestyle is not measurable, but money is, because you can measure it right to the penny. You know whether you're making progress or not. And if your goal is to move up to 10,000 a week, you're going to have to see progress. You're going to keep an eye on it. And that will tell you whether you're being productive and effective, really making it happen. And if you're not, then you got to figure out how to move it up a notch. Okay?
Next one's from Carol. Can you give some examples of how someone who makes $50,000 a week would act? Would seeing myself in my dream home, driving my dream car, and having my dream career be some examples?
Sure would. Absolutely. What you want to do is make a vision board. Get yourself a piece of artboard or something by, I don't know, what is it, 36 by 36, something like that. Go to an art supply shop. Get an artboard. And then start cutting pictures out of magazines. Think that's the kind of car I want. Cut a picture of, put it on the artboard, on your vision board. If it's jewelry, put it on your vision board. If it's a house you want, get a picture of, put it on the vision board. And you keep imaging it. That'll motivate you, you know. And that's what's going to keep you going. That's the way to do it. You know. Next one.
All right, next one's from Michael. How the right to life includes the right to be rich. Is it right to be content with poverty? If not, why not?
Well, no, it's not right to be content with poverty because poverty restricts your movement. We live in a world where money is the medium of exchange that's used for other people's products or services. You need money if you're going to live properly. Now, your spiritual essence wants you to do bigger, better, more. Money doesn't make you a better person. Money makes you more effective at what you're doing. Money enables you to extend the good you do far beyond your own physical presence. I earn a lot of money, but I don't earn as much as I want. I want to earn more money because I want to do more. We build schools in Africa right now. We build a school every week and a half. I want to build one every day. And that's not all I want to do. I want to help a lot of different people, and I do. So in doing different things, and to do that, it costs money. Well, money can be earned. Anybody can earn any amount of money. That's the point behind it. Next one.
All right, next one's from Cullen. I've been following you for the past 4 years, and I am a much happier person. Things are becoming better, but slowly and through hard work. How can I have faster results?
Well, first of all, it sounds like you're accepting the idea that you have to work hard. Napoleon Hill said, if you're one of those people who believe hard work and honesty alone will bring riches, perish the thought, it's not true. Riches come, if they come at all, in response to definite demands based upon the application of definite principles and not by chance or luck. So definite demands, you got to demand it of yourself. You demand that you're going to do so much better over the next 6 months. Maybe set a target for yourself between now and the first of the year. We'll give you a reasonable period of time. And you're going to be more effective. But you're not going to spend a lot of hard work. You're going to do this more with your mind than anything. Like, I was cleaning offices. I thought the answer was get another office to clean. Now this, I'm going back many, many years, back in the 60s. And I thought the answer was clean another office. I got so tired I passed out on the street. And when I came to, there was a crowd around, there was a cop there, and, you know, ambulance, and I guess somebody thought I'd dropped dead or something. I just passed out from exhaustion. And so I finally got away from them. They were wanting to take me to the hospital. I talked them out of that. And I sat down, I thought, I'm doing something wrong. I was in my late 20s. I'm probably around 27, 28, something like that. And I thought, I'm doing something wrong. And it was like a little voice in my head said, if you can't clean all of them, don't clean any of them. And so I started to get people to do the work. Pretty soon I got all dressed up in a suit and shirt and tie, and I just go around and check on them. And I didn't clean any of them. And you know that the business started to rock then. That's when I had an office in Toronto. I went into Montreal, to Boston, to Cleveland, to Atlanta, to London, England. I mean, because I wasn't cleaning any offices. I had other people there. You've got to, duplicate yourself. Do things. Have multiple sources of income. There's all kinds of sources. You can become an affiliate for this Lead the Field program. Sell it. Find out about becoming an affiliate. Send a letter in. Send it to Tracy. What's the address, Tracy? And you see that Brian gets it. Send it to Brian. If you want to become an affiliate, send a letter to Tracy or Brian. Go ahead.
I'll post that in the chat for them, and I'll send it out in an email as well.
Good.
Next one's from Michael. Which law causes the attraction of money?
Law of vibration. The law of vibration dictates the vibration you're going to be in, and you've got to get in harmony with the money or the good that you desire. You've got to actually see it happening. Now, when I was broke, And I started to study this. I didn't have any, and I didn't really believe it either, because it sounded preposterous to me, because I didn't have any base of understanding. I knew nothing. But it said, build an affirmation, so I built one. And this is it. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Now, I didn't check, but I could. I earned money last night when I was sleeping, all night long. I had orders coming in from all over the world. People were working in Australia, and I was earning money. You can earn money without working. You can earn money by providing service. In fact, work is the worst way to earn money. So you provide service. So you've got to see yourself, though, receiving the money. You've got to see yourself worthy of it, first of all. And it's the thoughts you think and images you hold in your mind that dictate the vibration you're in. Attraction is a secondary law. The frequency that you're on is going to dictate what flows to you. The action sets up a reaction. The universe reacting is actually the attraction. Action, reaction. The only thing you can attract to you are things that are in harmony with you. Find a person that's real miserable. You usually find their friends are pretty miserable too. Find a person that's pretty happy. You're going to find their friends are probably pretty happy. We're attracted to the people that are much like ourselves. Okay? If you find yourself complaining about all your friends and relatives, you want to take a good look at yourself. You're probably in harmony with them. You know what to change. Okay, next one.
Next one is from Oscar. I would like to know how to manifest a lot of commercial roof jobs in Texas and all over the United States.
Well, first of all, see it. See it. Start to see yourself with them. Start to see yourself with multiple locations. Start to see yourself with trucks on the road, with big name. Build a model. Build a brand. You know. You've got to build a brand. You've got to get it out there, but you've got to build it in your mind. You see it all in your mind. I started out cleaning one office. Then as I started to get numbers, I started going to other cities, so I started. And I would have kept going if I hadn't fallen in love with this. And I went to Steve Nightingale and I started this. So you've got to see it in your mind. You've got to build yourself an organizational chart. And you become the leader of it. You're the president, chief executive officer. You should have an assistant. Then you have multiple offices or multiple trucks on the road. Build the picture of what you want. Create the image. You will be in harmony. Then you'll start to attract what you have to attract. You're going to see more jobs. Okay. Next one.
Next one's from Efren. He has two questions. First one, can you explain the difference between using your mental faculty and using your will? After a period of time, do things go back to how they were because the image didn't change?
Well, first of all, the will is one of your mental faculties. Your mental faculties are perception, the will, reason, imagination, memory, and intuition. I'll run through them again. Your mental faculties are the will, reason, memory, intuition, imagination, and perception. Okay? They are your 6 mental faculties. Your physical faculties, you can see, hear, smell, taste, touch. Therefore, your physical body, as long as you're living in a physical body corresponding with the material world, you will use those faculties to correspond and communicate with your material world. If you want to go beyond your material world, if you want to go to the source of supply, if you want to go where it originates, where everything starts, you have to use the higher faculties. That's the difference between the higher faculties and one's the will. After a period of time, do things go back to where they were before? No. No, they never go back to where they were. Everything's always going ahead or going back. It's create or disintegrate. That's a law of life. Nothing stays where it is. Now, if you start improving, will you go back? No, you're not going to go back. You may go back physically, but not in awareness. You become aware and you're not doing what you're aware of how to do, then you're going to become fairly unhappy. When people know they are aware that they can do better and they're not doing it, they're pretty unhappy people. So the trick is become aware of what you're doing, become aware of how to grow, do the things you have to do and get it going. Okay?
Okay, and his second question, do you recommend using pain as a motivator? For example, if you don't do what you need to do on a daily basis, thinking what won't change or regrets and using that to move you forward.
No, I don't think that's a good way to do it. That's very negative to me. I think you're better imaging the good that you desire. Get that to inspire you to move ahead. Okay?
Next one's from Bushra. Hi, Bob. There is a hindrance to my progression. I have realized I have a deep fear of the unknown. You said to change my attitude, which I'm deeply trying. My income is still the same. How do I overcome this?
Well, you say your income is still the same. You want to quit thinking that, saying that. Start repeating, I'm so happy my income is increasing. Everything is moving in the right direction. See, the truth is, things are changing. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Just a minute. Listen to this for a moment. Now, this is in U square. Improving your performance by an order of magnitude of U squared can sound unrealistic. If you think of something that you have to do all on your own, but you don't. Forget the idea that you should be able to see tangibly and in full view all of the resources necessary to leverage your performance so dramatically. There are resources that you can access that cannot be seen, and they are far greater and more powerful than the resources you might readily observe. Evidence of absence is not evidence. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Think of an iceberg where you see only a tip of what's really there. Just as real, though out of sight, are invisible resources ready to make a profound difference in what you can achieve. All you have to do is open up and let them in. There's forces working around you all the time. You may not see that, but you're letting the outside control you. I realized I have a deep fear of the unknown. You said to change my attitude, which I deeply try. My income's still the same. My income's still the same. You're letting the outside control what you're thinking and saying. You got to change that. Start writing out, I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Say it 1,000 times a day. Keep saying it, even when your subconscious mind is saying, this is silly, this isn't going to happen, this is a bunch of nonsense. Keep saying it over and over and over. If you tell yourself a lie often enough, you're going to start to believe it. When you believe it, it's like William James says, believe in your belief will create the fact. Okay? There you go.
Okay, next one's from Lori. How do you strengthen the mental faculty of perception on a daily basis?
Well, keep changing the way you see things. Look for something different. You could take anything. Take two people looking at the same painting. Let's say you're both looking at the Mona Lisa. You're not going to see it the same way. So if you discuss this with somebody, how do you see that? And get them to explain it. Start talking to people about it. Let's change the way we look at things. Tell me how you see whatever it is. And they're going to explain it totally different than you. Most people have a perception problem. They're looking at things different. You know, if you look at a person and all you see is the body, you have a perception problem. There's so much more to them that you don't see. Well, do that with yourself. Change the way you look at things. Start changing the way you look at yourself. Change the way you look at what you're doing with your life. You may start to study the actions of very successful people and in your field, and then study your own behavior, and you'll see there's a difference. What's the difference? Well, That's how you shift your perception. Or you may have a problem that you're having difficulty solving. Write the problem out in as much detail as you can, simple as you can. Reduce it to as few words as you can, but without losing the idea. Put it in the middle of a desk or a table, and then sit down at the table and look at it. And look at it and say, now, is that problem in me or is it on the paper? And work at it until you get the problem out of yourself and put it on and have it on the paper. Then say, go sit at another person at the table. Say, if Proctor was looking at this, how would he see that? How would he see it? Then go sit somewhere else and take one of the most successful people you know and say, if she was looking at this or if he was looking at this, how would they see this? And mentally let yourself get in their energy. Feel them, think of them, and then look at the problem. And you're going to find your perception is going to change. And that's what you do change. You take two people, they're in the same condition, same circumstance, working for the same company, for the same person. One's winning and one's not. I guarantee you, they both look at their job totally different. The person that's losing should go to the winner and say, how do you see your job? How do you see what you did? And then form that attitude, okay? There you go, Trace.
All right, next one's from Tiffany. What's the best way to create a great idea in my mind and take it to physical form in my life?
Well, stop and think of what you're doing. Think of what you're doing and then say, you know, how can I do it better? How can I improve what I'm doing? And do that every morning for a while. And then when an idea comes to your mind, act on it. That's how to do it.
Okay, next one's from Nicholas. How does one systematically shift awareness for bigger and faster results?
I don't think there's any system to it. I think it's just a decision. You just decide that you're going to improve your productivity. That's it. Now, by what margin, I don't know. But you pick a target and you say, that's where I'm going to go, and this is when it's going to happen. Like I was talking to some salespeople. I told them what you want to do is make a decision. When you get out of bed in the morning, you're not going to get back into that bed until you've made a sale. Or until you make 2 sales, whatever. Set a target for yourself, and then you do it. But you've got to see the other result, the new result, already finished. Okay?
Next one's from Jens. Has 2 questions. I set a big goal for myself, and I've already overcome big obstacles with some success. Over the last 2 months, everything seems to go wrong, and I'm about to lose it all. I'm worried and less motivated. Any tips?
Don't worry about losing. Don't even think about losing. Just keep thinking of expanding, growing, and don't let a problem get you down. Understand this. Anyone that's ever experienced success has also experienced failure, but they treat it as a temporary defeat. They don't treat it as a defeat. Advancement is all kinds is preceded, by a crisis, and we were talking about that, or by confusion. Out of order comes results. There'll be a greater result than you had prior to the confusion. Start to understand that. And it sounds like your attitude is being shifted by what's going on outside. Over the past 2 months, everything seems to go wrong. Well, quit saying that. Say, what was good in that? Everything that happens, there's good in it. Find the good in it. Something great could have been in there. And I'm worried. You know what worry is? Worry is a negative concept. It's a psychic disease. And that will cause you to be less motivated. Worry will cause fear. Worry is the choice of a negative concept in the conscious mind. Fear becomes the emotional concept. That's the worry that's internalized. We don't do that. Your tip is say, what's good about this? What's good? Think of something good about it, okay?
Okay, and second question, why do we become what we think about? Do I need to not take action?
No, you do have to take action. Definitely have to take action. Until there is no action, there is nothing going to happen. But God will feed every bird, but he won't put food in their nest. Why do we become what we think about? Because the thought alters the vibration. The vibration changes the behavior. It also changes what you attract. Okay? Next one.
Okay, next one's from an anonymous client. I am extremely unhappy in my marriage, and I have felt this way for a while now. I feel I am the only one doing everything around the house and for the kids, on top of working full-time. I have addressed it to my husband multiple times, but he doesn't seem to care. I'm at the point of wanting a separation. How do I know when it is time to walk away?
You know. I think you got to lay it on the line with your husband. Quit doing any work around the house for a while. And if he gets a little upset about it, say, well, you do it. You know, sit down and have an honest talk with him. Like you're having an honest talk with us, have an honest talk with him. And he probably doesn't see it the way you see it. We're talking about perception a minute ago. His perception of the whole situation probably quite different than yours. Have you honestly discussed it with him? You may take him out to dinner somewhere. Suggest you go to dinner, get away from the kids, get away from the house, and sit down, and then have bullet points, point by point, but not telling him where he's wrong, where what's wrong, and then how can we correct it? And you might say that, I don't want to talk about who's wrong. Who's wrong doesn't matter. It's what's wrong, and then we can correct it. Is it his fault? Is it her fault? It doesn't make any difference whose fault it is. This is what's wrong, and let's correct it. But you've got to be very candid. Be very honest. Be very open.
Okay. Next one's from Kristen. I am a little challenged with feeling the money in the bank and lifestyle that I want to have. I can see pictures of it. Can you describe how to feel like I am already experiencing wealth if I'm not yet?
Well, go visit nice stores. When you're going out, you go into dress shops, you know, department stores, go to the really nice places. When you go for lunch, don't go as often, but go to a real nice place. Leave a good tip. Go where they treat you well. You'll start to move into that energy. Start to be good to yourself. You know, that's how you start. Build a picture of it. See how other people are living like that. And mentally start doing it. And understand this doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. And what you're doing is shifting your own consciousness. As you do, then your results start to change. But it doesn't change overnight. Some people change it faster than others. Okay?
Right. Next one's from Mark. I work in the oil and gas industry in northern Canada. It is a very negative environment where you have to work and live together. I want to work from home full time. Should I quit?
Well, a good question to ask yourself is, how long could you live if you don't have any money coming in? And if it's a week, no, I wouldn't quit because you're going to put yourself in a bad spot. I think you ought to have enough money coming in that if you, didn't earn any for 3 months or something like that, then you haven't got any pressure on you. But if you've got pressure on you, you're probably not going to work very well. Now, by that I mean, if you're going to have a goal, if your needs are not being taken care of, you're not going to be thinking of your goal. You just won't. Like if you're wondering, are we going to have enough to eat? You're not going to be thinking of the goal. You've got to keep your mind, get your mind into a state where you're not worried about what's happening. And then you can focus on what you're doing. So I would suggest if you've got a bankroll that would keep you going for about 3 months, and you've got a system that you're going to put into work where you can work from home, go and do it. Absolutely. There's so many things you can do from home today. I mean, we live in a world marketplace. It's not a corner store anymore. It's the whole world. That's what's made, all these companies so successful. Look at Amazon, my goodness. Started on a desk by himself. Okay, next.
All right, next one's from Shyman. In Lesson 8, you said, soul forever seeking its awareness of its oneness with that which is. What is soul, and is soul unaware of itself?
The soul is aware. You are a soul. You don't have one, you are one. The soul is, it just is. That's all anybody can tell you. They can't tell you anything beyond that. The soul is. It is neither created nor destroyed. It is the cause and effect of itself. And it's 100% evenly present, all places at the same time. What we want to do is become aware of that. And the more aware we become of our oneness with God or with infinite intelligence, the more effective we're going to be. So we got to see, I am a soul. I was created in God's image. All religion will tell you that. What we've done is got it reversed. We created God in our image. And then we're trying to see how a physical person can be everywhere at the same time. Well, you're not going to see that. But if you start to see the physical person as nothing but a manifestation of the non-physical, and that's what your body is, it's a massive energy and high speed of vibration, and you live in it. And as long as you're in it, it'll do what your mind tells it to do. It's totally subjective. It's like a dumb terminal. Well, you are a soul, and the soul is becoming aware of its oneness with infinite intelligence. And the more aware you become, the more it's reflected in your results. Okay?
All right, next one's from Liana. What is your opinion regarding the complementary use of brainwave systems like Holosync from Bill Harris or Matrix from Mind Movies?
They all work. They're good. You know, I just think they're good. I know Mind Movies, and I did know Bill Harris. I was at his funeral. In fact, he just passed away. But he has a good system in Holosync, and his family's carried on the business. It's very good. But understand this. Your thinking is above everything. Thought is the most potent form of energy there is. Thought waves are cosmic waves that penetrate all time and space. Get your thinking under control, okay?
All right, next one's from Amaret. I have been getting cool invention and business ideas, but I do not know what to do with them. Can you help me?
Well, this is where you should have a mastermind. You should have a group of people. Get a small group of people together. You can get a small group of people on here. In fact, I would imagine there is. Is there some kind of a Facebook group on this, Tracy?
We don't have one just for Lead the Field, but we have our Bob Proctor live page that lots of people create mastermind groups from.
Go there. Encourage you to go there. Get a group of people together and get brainstorming what you can do with your ideas. What you need is help. You need somebody to help you. Everybody, there's been nothing created without a group of people contributing to it. That's the way you want to do it.
Also what our PGI Marketplace is about as well.
That is right. You want to look into the PGI Marketplace. Okay.
All right, her second question. My 2-year-old has become quite aggressive, hitting, throwing things, being destructive. Any advice?
What would you say, Tracy?
I have this problem as well, so I can relate with her. So my son is very difficult, and I find that killing him with kindness is working right now. So when he is being very rude to me or saying mean things, I turn it around and I just say the complete opposite. Like this morning, he told me I was very annoying because I was telling him to get dressed like 5 times in a row. So I said, I'm not very annoying, Anthony. I'm just trying to get you ready for school because we need to get out the door and we don't want to be late for school. So then he kind of just rolls his eyes at me, and it seems to be working right now, but he's a challenge.
Listen, whatever the child's doing, it's an expression of an idea or frustration or something in the subconscious mind. When the child's laying down at night, make physical contact. In other words, put your hand on them as they're going to sleep. They're in that twilight state. Their subconscious mind is wide open. And start repeating. If they're hitting their sister, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm good to my sister. I love my sister. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm good to my sister. I love my sister. Do the opposite. Start to program the opposite idea in his mind of what he's doing. Don't say, I'm not hitting my sister. If I tell you the cat is not, or the dog is not chasing the cat, what do you see? You see a dog chasing a cat. So you don't put it out like that. You put the exact opposite. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm kind to my sister. I treat my sister well. And do that for a month. Every night, making physical contact, and actually see them treating your sister or doing whatever it is you want them to do. Don't see them doing the thing you don't want them to do. And you will transfer, you make a physical contact, you're talking to them, and you're emotionally transferring that picture into their subconscious mind. Through repetition, you're going to find they will start to change. I just had a text that there is a Facebook community for Lead the Field page.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that. But there is. Well, here, I think I'm getting a message of where it is. Okay.
I'll look it up and I will send it out to them in an email as well with the affiliate information.
Okay, go ahead.
Facebook. Okay, so next one's from Harry. He says, my mom, Allison, is feeling very stuck in her life. She is trying to move home and leave her past of unhappiness behind her, but is struggling to let go. I am really trying to help her. Any advice?
Talk to her about what she wants. Talk to her about what she wants. Encourage her that she can do what she wants. Okay? You've got to encourage her. Talk very positive. You know? Hold on just a second. I just sent you the link to the page. Tracy?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. When you're talking to your mom, encourage her. Talk about what she wants. Get her to get away from the unhappiness, from the stuckity, the stuck feeling. Start to realize that stuck is an attitude. Nobody's stuck. They just tell themselves they're stuck so they stay where they are. Encourage her. Move in the right direction. But don't get involved in the negative. Say, no, wait a minute, I'm not hearing why you can't do something. I want to hear what you want to do, what you're going to do, how you're good you are. Get her moving in the right direction. Okay?
Okay, next one's from Anita. Could you please talk about the balance between pushing forward towards a goal without forcing, as force negates? My goal is physically demanding. Want to make sure I'm consistently progressing.
Well, I think you know when you're forcing something. When you're going too far, you're just going too far with it. I think you know that. And you've got to stop it and let things happen. Force negates. It is not good. You try and force an idea on somebody, you know, it doesn't work. You convince a person against their will, they're of the same opinion still. You cannot force ideas on people, and you can't force things to happen. Try and force a little flower seed to grow. You'll kill it. You can't force negates. You know, your goal may be physically demanding. You can be still progressing. You know when you're going too hard with it. Okay?
Okay, next one's from Chuck. I want to do what you're doing and I want to learn it from you. May I volunteer to help PGI as I come back from some health issues? I don't want a salary, just an opportunity. I'll do anything. What can I do?
Well, you'd have to talk to somebody else. I don't hire anybody. You sound like me when I went to Nightingale Conant. I said, I'll do anything. They said, well, the only way to become part of our organization is become a consultant with us. So I went off to Montreal. I found out they were holding an opportunity meeting. I went and I became a consultant. And then I got all this stuff and I thought, what am I going to do? And I thought I better start selling this or I'm going to eat it. So I sold more than anybody else. Pretty soon they invited me into the home office and I was becoming the vice president of sales. You'll have to, you know, get a hold of somebody and here, send a letter in. Send a letter to Chief Executive Officer, I guess. Sandy Gallagher. Everybody works for her. Nobody works for me. I'm doing what I do. Okay? Next one. But if that's a goal, one that you can reach, don't be dissuaded.
Next one's from Nino. My seagull is pretty large in scale, and when written out on a card, actually has a few other smaller seagulls, which compromise it. Should I scale back and focus at one section or stay the course?
I don't think you can have a seagull and then have a few small seagulls underneath it. You may see various steps it's going to take you to your goal, and you don't know how they're going to happen. There's steps to the goal. Like if you want to get to the top of Mount Everest, you've got to get to base camp first, don't you? You know, the established base camp. You got to get there. Well, that's the same with this. You've got to, your seagull is the thing that you really want. That's what you go after. Maybe one of those smaller ones that you're talking about. But the seagull is simply a goal, something you really want, and you have no idea how it's going to happen. You don't have to know how it's going to happen. You only have to know it's going to happen.
Okay, next one's from Jen's, 2 questions. I'm self-employed and set a few months ago the goal to turn my annual income into my monthly. Since 2 months, things go extremely wrong in my business. Failure after failure. I'm about to give up. Any tips?
Well, don't give up. That's for sure. Just keep working at it. Talk to somebody that's doing it successfully. Find somebody that you can model and ask them, what are half a dozen things I should do every day? You never give up. You never change the goal. Change the plan, but not the goal. That's essential. If you give up, you can't win. When you stick with it, you have to win. And that's the way you've got to see this. Because that's the way it is.
Okay, and the second question. I'm very shy and care too much about what people think about me. I can't even walk confident on the street. I always look around if somebody looks at me. I hate being like this, and it's hard to change. What do you suggest?
Well, definitely it can change. You have got to work on your self-image. Send Jen the Winner's Image Program. Okay?
Okay.
Send it to her. I want you to use this program every day for a month, Jen, and then I want you to write back to me. Okay? I'm going to send it to you. You got to change how you see you. You got to change your self-image. When you change that, everything will change. And this program will tell you how to do it. I'm going to give it to you. Okay? Next one.
Okay, looks like this is our last question because Jen's is on here twice. So this one's from Christine. My job is extremely demanding. I work from home, but I work from the time I get up until very late hours in the evening, sometimes through the night. There's so much to be done, I can't even take a full day off. I love my job and I truly enjoy what I do. I am also a mom and a wife, so I struggle with the balance, and I feel like I am attached to my computer at all times. I don't know how to balance it all and get everything done. Help.
Well, you can get everything done. You might not get everything done today. Maybe you have too much to do. Maybe you should get an assistant. But sit down and ask yourself, how do I want to live? You can't manage time, but you can manage activity. How do I want to live? And there's times you may turn your phone off, turn your computer off. But make up your mind before you go to bed how you're going to live tomorrow. Write it down and then do it. See, you're in the habit of doing what you've described here, and you're complaining about it. Well, you formed the habit. You've got to change it. It's your paradigm that needs a shift, Christine, and you can change it. Just understand you can. But you've got to decide, how do I want to live? And then you think, now, how am I going to do it? And then you start doing it. You probably report to somebody if you have a job or if you work for them. Well, you may work for yourself. maybe you're not doing it as well as you could. Talk to somebody. How can you do it better? That's the way you got to take it. Next one.
That is all of our questions that came in. That last one on the screen is the previous question duplicated. So that is all the questions that we got in today.
Well, that's great, Tracy. I want to appreciate it. I appreciate all the help you've been. Are you still there?
Yep.
Okay, I just hit my computer and something stopped. I sent you that the link for the Facebook group. If you send it to everybody.
Yep, I will get an email out after this call with that link and the link to the affiliates, and then the recording will be posted in your membership area. And mark the date for the next call, which is September 12th at 12 p.m. Eastern.
Super. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you all. Study the program every day. Thanks, Tracy.
All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.